Hey, dude, I'm just very tired right now. It's currently 8:30 and I pretty much worked quite a long time today and been standing up at work, so apologize if I don't sound very enthusiastic or if I have low energy today. But today I just want to discuss a topic that really intrigued me for the past week. This topic is our human existence. What makes us human beings in the first place? And why are we even doing what we're doing currently? Like, why are so many of us just working a 9 to 5 job if we're all gonna just die eventually, right? We're just delaying our death at this point. And I also sort of want to discuss about death, but I'm gonna leave that to another video. But hope you all are doing well. I know for me, I've been really struggling for the past few months. Been really trying to get more sleep. And lately I've just been thinking like we're stuck on Earth, right? Like we can't really go to another planet currently and we have to deal with our current society. You're probably seeing a lot of current events lately. There's the freaking Iran and Israel war. There's the protests in the United States. And there's also a lot of assassinations, a lot of crap that's going around in the world. And I won't be talking about that specifically. I just want to mention and point that out because I feel like we're starting to realize the cracks of society and it's really starting to show, right? You can see how, as humans, we care so much about ourselves and our own ego that a lot of times we don't care about just the everybody else. It's frustrating. And that's why I'm never a big fan of ideology and people aligning themselves towards a particular cause, because when you do that, you tend to neglect a lot of other people's perspectives in life. And that's my issue as humans. Now, I know I sidetracked a lot and this is completely off topic of what I actually want to discuss, but it's interesting to think about. And once again, this video won't have any cuts, so I may stutter. I'm sure I said that in many of my videos, but just a disclaimer out there because I want this to be raw, authentic, and so first thing I want to talk about is how I feel like a lot of us see ourselves as rational beings, right? That is one trait or attribute that differentiates us from animals. We have our own rationality, our own rational thought, thinking. We're able to troubleshoot and decipher, understand, and come up with innovative ideas. And we're able to constantly improve ourselves. And that could be a double-edged sword, which I'll get into. And if you think about it, there's a lot of attributes about ourselves that are predetermined. We can't really change about ourselves, really. I mean, I guess you can technically identify yourself as something different, but let's be honest. Biologically, a lot of things we can't change, such as our age, right? And age is an interesting thing. Like, is age even a social construct? I feel like if you think about it, there's 365 days roughly in a year, right? So basically 1 year. That's like, it's interesting because I feel like there's definitely a scientific approach on how we calculate our age, but I feel like we sometimes need to think if there's alternatives to what we already know currently. And there's also gender, right? Some people think there's only 2 genders. Some people just think there's like over 100. I don't want to get too into that, but it's just interesting about, right? Like how us humans are so divided, even down to the basics. Like we fight over freaking age, we fight over gender, we fight over our height. Height is another thing that's people go crazy over, right? Like if you look at many girls and women in dating apps, in Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, they'll want a man that's 6 feet tall. And also, we also have our predetermined class of origin, right? We could be born in a wealthy family like Donald Trump, or we could be living in the slums in the middle of a Sahara desert. Like, seriously, life is full of RNG. Life is pretty much an MMORPG. Freaking game like RimWorld, where just randomly generated seed. Each of us has our own positive, negative traits. We have defects. Some of us are born with autism and disorders, ADHD, OCD. It's like, I didn't even ask to be born. Like, that's the issue with life for me. Like, a lot of us didn't really get the choice and decision to be born. We were just forced upon this earth with a horrible society, right? I know there's plenty of anti-natalists out there that don't think giving birth to people are ethical, but yeah, just really frustrating how complex life is if you just dissect it into its bare bones, right? And one thing I hate about our current society, which is running a capitalist society, and I feel like this is really destroying our society. Society is absolutely broken. You can see the cracks in the current events. Pretty sure this might be World War III, or like literally an AI revolution because of this chaotic capitalist society we're, for some reason, addicted to. It's basically like how we are constantly trying to create and improve ourselves. We ourselves are pretty much our own personal art project, right? We're trying to increase our market value so we can end up making more money. And in order to do that, we have to get a job, right? So we want to present ourselves, we want to make ourselves seem like we have a lot of worth, increase our net worth by getting maybe a master's degree, getting a PhD, and just like networking, increase your social circle. A lot of that is ultimately done to make money so we can feel happy. We have the leverage of traveling and doing things we enjoy with money. But the issue is that life is unfair, right? Some of us are born with personal childhood traumas. So it might be very much harder for them to excel in this aspect than someone just simply born in a wealthy family, right? I know plenty of you are going to say, that's just the way life is. Deal with it. You need to grow up, grow skin. You always complain in these videos. You should really man up. Like, seriously, like, you're speaking, but you're not taking any action. And sure, you have a point. I can definitely take action, right? I have some sort of freedom, but hear me out. There are given parameters in life, right? I can't magically change my skin color. Some people have survivorship bias. I don't want to sound like too racist, but basically some people are born in a wealthy family. They might be Caucasian, and certain jobs, it might be easier for them to get. For example, HR, particularly Caucasian women, or if you're attractive, you tend to probably get jobs more easily. Also, our current generation, right? Gen Z, Gen Z, if you're Canada. I feel like this generation is really hard in general for us to get jobs just because the way that AI is sort of taking over a lot of roles. And there's going to be an AI revolution in the future. And the economy is slowing down due to tariffs, due to a lot of crisis around the world. And I feel like there's definitely going to be a global recession. And a lot of that is out of our control, right? I can't just magically end the recession. I can't tell Trump to stop the tariffs. I can't tell Iran and freaking Israel to stop wars. And I can't do certain things. I know some of you can say there are certain things I can do. And trust me, I am trying to do my best right now. I even made a video covering that I'm going to college potentially for up to 10 years. Even though I stated that I'm not really a fan of education. I believe I made a video on that 2 months ago. You can check it out. But it's just really frustrating when a lot of people think that I can change my life. In fact, there are certain given parameters set in stone by society that makes it much harder for someone like me to improve myself when I have defects. I have ADHD. I can't really concentrate that well. My attention span's really poor. And in general, I feel like I also have a mild case of autism, and it's just frustrating when people just like. Anyways, I know I'm getting a bit ranty now, but yeah, hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. And another thing I want to talk about is how like I don't like the idea of people objectifying others. I know sometimes people do it subconsciously, and I know people do it outside the workplace as well. If you're working at a factory, or if you're a blue collar worker like electrician, plumber, or carpenter, right? People are gonna view you as tools. Your boss CEO is gonna view you as pretty much someone who can be replaced. And I feel like that idea of objectifying people is very unhealthy. People also objectify women by their body parts, like they find certain parts of their body attractive. And I feel like when you reduce someone down to an object, it really dehumanizes them. And I don't like that. We should treat humans as beings, as themselves, not objects. I feel like a lot of humans are very selfish. They view themselves as subjects, like the main character of anime, like a protagonist. And they view others as objects, mere entities to be exploited, to be controlled. Like, I'll be friends with you if you benefit me in some way, or if you can reinforce my thinking in a way. It's crazy. Have you realized that majority of your friends are probably on the same page as you, right? You guys probably don't argue that much, or you guys are probably both conservatives or liberals, right? Let's be honest. Like you're political, but it's kind of crazy to think about. Like I'm literally, this is so sad. Like how people also just never want to take the blame for anything in the workplace. Like people will find scapegoats. People want to cover their ass, right? Like, nope, this is not my responsibility. This is Joe's problem. He did this. Seen this countless times at work where the higher up just blame the lower level employees because it's very easy to just pass the blame to someone who's less relevant, right? But this can also go with a lot of other things in life too. It's just frustrating how people also view themselves as objects sometimes too, like how they view themselves as a product or commodity in the marketplace, right? Like they're trying to make a six-figure job, so they're going to try to increase the market value by going to school, and they're also trying to min-max themselves, right? I'm going to get the gains, I'm going to get a six-pack, I'm going to get facial surgery. I'm not going to be authentic because I hate my true self. I want to just be an actor. At the end of the day, I feel like majority of people are just straight up actors. We don't reveal our true self. We hide behind a mask, not even to our true friends and realist friends sometimes. Really, really sad. And I know, going back to what I was saying earlier, a lot of times there's a lot of things we can't change about ourselves, but I feel like our mentality and the way we think about life can be changed even slightly, luckily. You just really need to take the time to go out of your comfort zone and just embrace how messed up the world is. And I know that sounds very counterproductive, but sometimes you really need to think about what our purpose in life, what our purpose in society is. Like society itself doesn't necessarily have to even be there. It's just ultimately created by humans, so it's easier to control us, oppress us, exploit us. And it's unfortunate how so many people chase nostalgia nowadays, right? Like you probably hear a lot of throwback songs like Eminem's Houdini, freaking Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. People like reminiscing old memories, right? Like the One Direction era. And like there's a lot of crap that's going around in the world currently, like tons of wars, like Russia-Ukraine war, freaking Iran-Israel, and the US Civil War, I guess. And it's like people aren't really a fan of the government. I mean, now there's a lot of stuff that I just am upset about. It's unfortunate how so many people rely on their own five senses, right, or rational thought to get to anywhere in life, right? They think that they can rely on the brain for everything, which is crazy because let's be honest, our brain fools us all the time, right? Like we look at the sky, is it really the color blue? No, it's not. And also another thing is that optical illusions too. Like seriously. Also, I feel like our brains, we aren't AI, okay? We have imperfections in our brain. We can't fully rely on our senses and our human thoughts because a lot of times our emotions get in the way, right? A lot of times the stuff we think about are very biased. Some people say they're not biased, but let's be honest. Majority of the times we are going to be biased because humans are imperfect creatures. There is going to be extensive interference. The way you're born and raised, our cultural norms, the norms you grew up with when you were a baby and a toddler, you pretty much manifested into adulthood, right? All of us are very different. We grew up in very different environments. You could be grown up in a very abusive household, or you could be grown up in a very loving, friendly household where you get free gifts for your birthday. You get parties pretty much every month. And if you ask your parents for Xbox, they'll buy you it straight away. You know, a lot of us have very different lives. And I feel like doesn't give life justice to just simplify it. Too many people like simplifying life and just pretending it's this very simple thing that we just need to accept for what it is. Like, go get a job. Go work out. Go present yourself better. Go be more confident so you can get a girlfriend and live happily ever after. Right? Life is that easy. That freaking easy. But hear me out. There's massive survivorship bias. Like, let's say in engineering class, right? Not everybody is probably going to graduate. Not everybody's going to graduate with honors, make six figures at Google afterwards, right? There are going to be people who dropped out. There are going to be people who are struggling, maybe due to the way their brain was formed when they were a fetus, or maybe due to childhood trauma, maybe due to some breakup they had during the semester, or maybe due to, who knows, a car accident, freaking family issues. So many things in life can go wrong. And I feel like a lot of people don't think about that when giving other people advice. They just think that other people are just lazy. They don't want to get off their bed. They just want to freaking watch Netflix, eat Cheetos, and play World of Warcraft all day. Like, no! A lot of us just do that to hide from the reality, right? Escapism. That's a huge thing people do nowadays. And that's why so many people are addicted to social media too. It serves as almost a distraction from reality. We don't want to be our true selves. We don't want to be our true self as a human being. We just want to be an actor, be someone who we want to be. It's unfortunate in our society, no one's authentic anymore. Everyone just putting on an act, ultimately. Like, you may see yourself doing it as well when speaking to others. Maybe you talk to certain friends differently from your parents, right? You pretty much, your personality could completely change depending on the person you speak with. And if you're watching this, you probably don't agree with everything I say. Completely fine. I'm just sharing my perspective. My perspective is not objectively right. Nothing in the world is objectively right. Some people think science can back up everything. Well, I say that's bullshit. Give me a moment. So stupid, man. Another thing is that, like, when people ask us who we are, they'll say, I'm a Democrat. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm MAGA. I am a nurse. I am a freaking loving mother. I'm a philanthropist. Like, seriously, let's be honest. Nobody really knows who they truly are. Sure, you can say, I am a very confident and adventurous person. Well, that attribute can apply to pretty much anyone, right? But who are you really? Ask yourself this right now. Give me an answer in the comments right now. Who are you? Let me know. I'm curious to hear how your answers differ. And just so stupid how like humans are just like such stupid creatures. We destroy our environment, we start wars, we're bored of boredom too. Like, remember there was a science experiment how people can't sit still and they'll rather zap and hurt themselves than like sit through. It's like, and it's so unfortunate how like a lot of people just align themselves with a political ideology or like religion just to fit in, just to feel a sense of belonging, just to feel a sense of purpose in life. Like, what's the true objective purpose in life? I know a lot of you will say I'm overthinking, but you should really think about this sometimes too. Like, let's be honest. We can sort of control our emotions to a certain extent, right? You could. It's very complicated because I feel like all of us are going to die one day, right? Like, you could look at it glass half empty or glass half full, right? And ultimately, some people act and live their life like they're never gonna die. It's like sometimes you really need to think about things because you can literally die anytime. There's like so many other things I want to discuss, but yeah, sorry if I got super off track. I don't even know what to call this video at this point, but yeah, these are just thoughts and emotions I've been feeling this past week. Hopefully you can resonate with some, and yeah, maybe I'm just crazy, but sure, I'm probably just going through another phase or two, but thanks for understanding anyways. I think I'm just gonna wrap this up before I go absolutely bananas, but thank you for listening. For every returning viewer, I really appreciate you for all subscribing, watching pretty much all my videos. The amount of support I've gotten is tremendous and amazing. Like, seriously, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, as cheesy as that sounds. If you're new here, feel free to join my Discord server as well. A lot of us like-minded individuals, we just spit out random things off the top of our heads, and if you're going through a rough time, I'm sure a lot of people can give you some support as well. So thank you for helping and just being with me and just like engaging in conversations like this, because I feel like there's lack of these type of conversations on YouTube. And yeah, that's basically it. Anyways, take care all. Have an amazing rest of your day or night. And peace.